Have you ever wondered what absolutely happens when light totally vanishes from the ocean floor for months at a time? This is exactly what modern science calls marine dark waves. So how does this wild phenomenon even start? Where does it actually go down? And what kind of impact does it have on the creatures living way down there? Marine dark waves totally happen when thick layers of sediment or piled up algae completely block sunlight from piercing down into the depths. This causes the light to suddenly plunge by up to 90% in just a few days. These dark waves sometimes last for just a few short days, but they can totally stretch out for more than 2 whole months in other regions. For instance, an international team in California actually tracked a wave that went on for 67 consecutive days. This wild phenomenon usually pops up right after massive storms or flash floods that completely wash soil away from the land and straight into the sea. Plus, when algae blooms super heavily right over coastal waters, it completely blocks out the light like a giant floating cloud. When the light completely cuts off, kelp plants and seagrasses take the hit first because they absolutely need that light to make their food. Their photosynthesis totally grinds to a halt, so they start withering away and dying off in just a few short weeks. Coral reefs also totally depend on light in an indirect way, since tiny algae live right inside them and handle the photosynthesis. If these algae are completely starved of light, they die off, which hits the coral hard and turns it completely stark white. Marine animals absolutely take a hit too, even though they do not do any photosynthesis at all. Tiny fish that always hide out right among the seagrasses completely lose their shelter, and the creatures that feast on algae find out that their food has totally vanished. This shift in behavior totally ripples right through the entire food chain. For example, the bigger fish completely migrate to other areas searching for prey, which totally throws off the natural balance of the entire coastal ecosystem. Scientists actually used decades of light measurements taken right from the ocean floor and from satellites to define these dark waves for the very first time. They tracked the changes in water clarity with absolute pinpoint precision. 2 research teams completely worked separately in California and New Zealand, and then brought all their data together. They found out that the frequency of these dark waves has totally shot up in recent years because of climate change and increasingly intense storms. On the flip side, there are massive differences between dark waves and those well-known marine heat waves. While heat waves crank up the temperature super slowly, dark waves completely block out the light out of nowhere. The direct result is that coastal areas hit by frequent dark waves completely lose their biodiversity way faster. Algae and seagrasses simply cannot bounce back between one wave and another if the timeframes get too close together. Scientists are now planning to track marine dark waves hand in hand with other major stressors like ocean acidification. This totally helps them understand exactly when marine habitats are in their absolute most dangerous states. Divers and ships can totally pitch in to spot this phenomenon by reporting any sudden drop in underwater visibility. The more data we get, the better scientists can actually predict these dark waves before they even hit. So it is crystal clear that light is not just something that lets us see, but it is the absolute lifeblood of coastal ecosystems. Protecting water clarity from pollution and storms is totally the very first step to keeping this delicate balance alive and well.